Hello, podcast. This is Enzo with another edition of the podcast. I've got a list here, questions from race drivers, entrepreneurs, people in normal jobs, you name it, just a variety of questions from different people that I collect along the way to make sure I've got content, to make sure I answer the questions that you people really want. And I just saw that about 6 of them, so I can blanket answer this. About 6 of the questions I've got on this list all refer to the goals that we've got in life. And when it comes to goals, people make it so confusing. You know, they say, oh, Enzo, I've got to use the SMART goals. I've got to make sure that it's kind of, it's specific, it's measured, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound. You know, I've got to make sure that all these are ticked so I can have the correct goals for me, and then I'm going to structure them down and have goals that are definitely achievable. And it's like, guys, when it comes to goals, just think what a goal needs to do. It needs to give you direction. It needs to motivate you. It needs to get you off your backside in the morning. And it's so juicy. You've got so many emotions wrapped up into that goal that you just can't help but work towards it. It doesn't allow you to sleep. You go to bed, you say, right, I'm going to get my 7 hours sleep, but you're up 5 hours later thinking about the goal. I know what I want to try next. And your creative mind goes and you feel alive. That is a goal. And when you've got that in place, all you need then is the self-belief and confidence to go for it, and just the bravery, the courage to go for it. And that's not a lot really, because if your goal's compelling enough and it's pulling, you'll do anything for it. With the right goal, you'll sell your house and go and live in a bedsit. You'll get rid of that car, and it's your purpose in life. That is a goal. Now, you might have heard of Grant Cardone's 10x goal, and it's, you know, some people say, oh, that's rubbish, you can't have a goal and then times it by 10 and then go for that, because you're never going to achieve it. You know what, Grant has got a point, because when you have a huge whopping North Star that you're going for, guess what that does? For example, if I've got a race driver and they say, and I ask them, what's your goal for this year? And I won't go for the big North Star, I'll just go for this year. They might say, to finish top 8 in the championship. And when they say it and you see the expression on their face, it's like, right, I'm going for P8 and upwards because I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to be disappointed. And I think it's achievable. It's like, no, I'll tell you what to do. Instead of just top 8, we're going to aim this year to dominate the championship, to destroy everybody, to be the best driver, not just on that grid, but to be the best driver in the world. I had a driver say this to me once recently, and it really reminded me. I was like, that's why I do it. That's why I have these goals, and that's why I tell people. Because he said, once I told myself I want to be the best driver in the world, it juiced me. It made me think or realize just how much work I've got to put in. It made me think, okay, if I'm doing 10 reps and I'm struggling at 10, and all of a sudden I start to think about what would the best driver in the world do? Yep, oh boy, I'm doing another 2 whether I like it or not. That's what a big goal does. If you've just got a specific, measured, achievable, relevant, time-bound one, it's not really going to do that. You need a goal that grabs you by the face and pulls you into it. You need a carrot that you just cannot avoid, and you need a stick behind you that's whipping you. Say, if you don't go for this, then your life's going to be hell. So you need energy when it comes to a goal. And I want you to revisit yours. Not only to revisit yours, but after that, we want to look at how you've been acting to see if that goal's even achievable, if you carry on acting the way you have and processing things. But really, I want you to just shake things up, because we've gotten past now New Year's resolutions, you know, the little things. This now is time for you to get into the meat of the year and say, you know what? If I can just over the next 8 months do X, whatever that X is, and turn it up a little bit, shoot higher from what you're actually saying. And I don't want you to, this isn't just to put pressure on you. This is to say, right, if I was to even stand a chance at achieving that huge goal, what would I have to be like? What kind of person? What would my standards be? How would I have to work every day? What skills must I get down? For example, if you are I'm going to bring it back to racing again. Sorry, everyone who's not in racing. But if you are aiming to dominate the championship, you will do more reps. Your standard will be much higher. Your work ethic will be much higher than a person that's just aiming for top 8. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you don't achieve it. It really doesn't. It's not win or lose. It's not if I don't do it, I've got to feel worse about myself. It's not. It's shooting high. And you know if even you get halfway there, you're still in a much better place than where you are now. Much better position. That's a goal. So if a goal makes you tie up your shoelaces, boot yourself up, and take action each day because you know how big it is, that's the kind that you need. This is not about shooting low and just about achieving the goal. And yeah, okay, over 10 years, maybe you make increments. No, we're not interested in that. This is about you shooting for something bigger that makes you become more of a person. And I tell you what, when you're shooting for a huge goal, and you know really there's no chance of doing it, but I'm going to go for it, I'm going to give it everything, because if I get halfway, it'd be great. Then you find that you meet different people. You go down different paths in life. And your life takes you and you go onto this journey that you wouldn't have had if you were only aiming for a top 8. So this message today is for you to check your goals. Make sure that you're starting with something that is huge. Even if it's in 10 years' time, start with that. If you're like just starting out in your sport, then you've got to win the world title. That's fine. Be the best person you can be in your industry. The best. The one that people are always thinking about. As soon as they think about a service or a product they need, they think of you. That's a goal. How am I going to do it? Social media this to hell every day. I'm going to have the best product. And you can see how you start to reverse engineer a huge goal. Then you have huge expectations of how you're going to show up. And it isn't a case, remember, of if I don't do it, then I'm going to feel bad about myself. You don't do that. You're too busy working towards it. So refresh your goals and make sure they're big, because it will make you step up. And also, take a look at now. Now and the last few weeks, let's say 2 weeks, how have you been acting? How have you been? What's your work ethic been like? What's your mental processing? What's your emotional stability or mastery been like? Has it been good enough for you to look ahead and say, how I've been in the last 2 weeks, is that going to help me achieve my goal? Or is it going to be a top 8 kind of driver? And if it's not good enough, it's time to understand the 1 or 2 things that you must be good at and make sure that in the present day you're doing them. If you need to improve your sales skills because you're constantly calling up people and they're telling you no, do it. If you need to change your proposal, do it. If you need to change the way you're training, do it. But don't keep doing the same thing and just expect to have a bigger goal and things to happen. You must change. You must improve yourself. Spend time on you. The best thing you can invest in is you. It's all on you. It's on your shoulders. If you want to create the life that's in your head, that 10x goal or whatever it is, you're the only person that can do it. Nobody else is going to do it for you. They're too busy with their own lives. So have this goal. Look back on today and the last 2 weeks. How have I been acting? Is it a person that deserves that goal down the line? If not, change things. Pick 2 things to go with this week that you're going to turn up 10x. So if you are, trying to get fit and you see in the last 2 weeks, you've only worked out 5 times and you've really got a big fitness goal, it's not going to work. Give yourself a reality check. If you want something big, you've got to put everything into it. Screw what other people think, how people are going to judge you. If you've got a purpose in life and a goal that drives you, you go for it. Don't care what anyone else says. You only got one shot. Please use it. I don't want you to regret it. I don't want you looking back on your life regretting that you didn't take action as you listen to this video. And by the way, switch this video off and get to work.